Hello students, welcome to Drishti IAS. Assam has recently come up with the Anti-Polygamy bill. So in this video, we will discuss everything about the bill and what is going to happen next. So the Assam cabinet has approved the Anti-Polygamy bill, and as a next step, this is going to be tabled in the State Legislative Assembly in the upcoming session of November 25. Now, once this is approved by the Assembly and the governor provides his assent, this is going to become an act. And this bill talks about prohibiting polygamy across the state. Now, today we'll discuss what this bill entails and what are the exemptions. But before we do that, let's quickly discuss the polygamy situation, the polygamy rule situation in India. So, in India, there isn't a uniform law that deals with polygamy for every religion. Every religion has its own set of laws which basically allow or ban polygamy. So, there's no uniform law that deals with polygamy in India. So, different religions, they have their own religious laws. Like Hindus are governed by the Hindu Marriage Act. Then Muslims, they have the Muslim Personal Law. Similarly, Christians also have the Indian Christian Act, Indian Christian Marriage Act. Parsis have the Parsi Marriage and Divorce Act. And then tribals are governed by their own set of customary laws. So, the Hindu Marriage Act prohibits polygamy. Muslim Personal Law, it allows polygamy. Christian Marriage Act, this also prohibits polygamy. Parsi Marriage Act prohibits polygamy, and tribals are governed by their own customary laws, which means that polygamy may or may not be allowed depending upon their own traditions or customs. So, this is the situation of polygamy rules in India. Now, Assam basically wants to create a uniform law in the state where everybody living in that state will have to follow the rules, which means that irrespective of the religion, polygamy is going to be banned in the state. There are going to be some exemptions, but basically, in general, every man who's living in Assam will have to follow these rules, and polygamy is going to be prohibited. So, now let us understand the specifics of this bill. So, the Anti-Polygamy bill, this basically says that polygamy is going to be a punishable offence. So, this makes polygamy a cognizable offence, which means that arrest can happen without a warrant and bail will not be granted immediately. So, this will be a cognizable offence. This is a punishable offence with imprisonment of 7 years. And the state also wants to create a compensation fund. The bill also talks about creating a compensation fund. Compensation for whom? Compensation for the victims of polygamy. By victims of polygamy, we mean those women or the first wives who would have been thrown out of their houses because the husband wanted to marry twice, or the second or the third wife who did not know that the man they were marrying was already married. So, these women, they became our victims of polygamy. And the bill talks about creating a compensation fund for these victims so that this money can go towards the development of these women. So, this is what the bill entails. Now, there are some exemptions. Some people are going to be exempted. First, the tribals. Why? Because I just told you that tribals, they have their own set of customary laws or traditions and the state wants to respect them. So, tribals across the state are going to be exempted. Next exception is for the areas under the 6th schedule. So, Article 244 Clause 2, this basically allocates some areas to the 6th schedule, and these areas in Assam also are the Bodoland, Territorial Council. Then we have Karbi Anglong and Dima Hasao. Now, what happens in the 6 schedule areas? These 6 schedule areas, they have autonomous district councils. So, any state law automatically does not apply to 6 schedule areas. It applies only under 2 conditions. And what are the 2 conditions? The first condition is when the governor notifies it. When the governor of the state notifies, then that state law will start being applicable in the 6 schedule areas as well. Or when these autonomous district councils decide to do so. Because the power lies with the autonomous district councils. These councils, they make laws on civil matters. So the power lies with them. So if the ADCs decide that a state law has to be applicable to the 6 schedule areas, then that law will be applicable. Otherwise, automatically any state law is not applicable to the 6 schedule area. So as an exemption also here, all the residents who are a part of the 6 schedule areas will be exempted immediately. Like for now, there is a temporary relief that has been provided in the bill, that it is not going to be applicable immediately to the areas of the 6th schedule, which means that tribals plus non-tribals who are living in the 6 schedule areas are going to be relieved for now. We do not know what is going to happen in the near future, but for now they are going to be exempted. And then as a third exemption, now we are focusing only on the Muslim minorities. So the third exemption here is the Muslim minority of these 6 schedule areas only, the Muslim minorities who have been here pre 2005. So within the 6 schedule exemption, because the 6 schedule exemption talks about tribals plus non-tribals, within that there's one more exemption that is focusing specifically on the Muslim minority groups who have been here pre 2005. This means that these people, these Muslims, will also be exempted for now. They will not be covered by the law under the law of polygamy. So this is what is happening in the bill. But in the near future, anything can happen. And even after 2005, so the Muslims who have been here post 2005, 2007, 8, 10, 9, they will not be exempted. Only the Muslims who have been here pre 2005, they are going to be exempted. This is what the bill entails. So what does this mean? This means that in general, for everybody in Assam, this is going to be prohibited. Polygamy is going to be prohibited. So if there is a Muslim man who's not a resident of the 6th schedule in Assam, for him polygamy is going to be prohibited because he is not exempted. He is living in a non-exempt area. He is living in an area outside the 6th schedule and he is not a tribal. So he is a non-tribal, non-exempt. But in cases where he lives in the 6th schedule area, for now he is going to be relieved. And it is not just for Muslims, it is for everybody. All the tribals plus non-tribals, if they are not covered in the 6th schedule, for now they will not be relieved. But if they are covered in the 6 schedule areas, then there is going to be an immediate relief for them, a temporary relief, and then we'll see what happens next. So this is what the bill entails. Once this becomes a law, then polygamy for everybody across the state is going to be prohibited, and this is a step towards enforcing a more uniform set of rules where, irrespective of the religion, everybody is governed by the same set of rules. So that was all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and now let us practice a question for prelims. Consider the following statements regarding the Assam Prohibition of Polygamy Bill. 1. The bill aims to make polygamy an offence for all citizens in the state, irrespective of religion or personal law. 2. The bill overrides provisions of the Muslim Personal Law Application Act 1937 within the state's jurisdiction. 3. The bill applies uniformly across the state, including the 6 scheduled autonomous districts. Which of the above statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, 1 and 2 only, 1, 2 and 3. Please attempt this question and provide your answers in the comment section. Thank you for watching.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.